Welcome to Action Teacher Video. Video is a powerful tool that teachers are using to reflect on their own practice and to communicate new ideas. And in this series, we feature videos produced by teachers themselves and discuss the contents and implications here in the studio. In this programme, we'll be looking at an innovative approach to PE and PSHE teaching in Charles Edward Brooke School, captured on camera by teacher Michelle Grant and called The Energy Project. I'm delighted to be joined in the studio by Michelle Grant. Michelle, hello and welcome.
Hello.
I'm also joined by another teacher with some similar experiences and concerns from Abbey Gates Primary School, Darren Powell. Hello, Darren. Hello. I'd also like to introduce a consultant and contributor to Teachers TV, Adrian Jones. Hello. What were the aims of your project?
The main aim of the project was to investigate how the students in our school expend their energy, what times of day they were most energetic, when did they think they were learning the most, because we'd had some concerns from the students themselves about classes that they felt tired and they didn't have as much energy, so therefore they didn't feel they were taking in as much information. Here at Charles Edward Brooke School, we were approached by the Helen Story Foundation. Helen Story had come up with an idea based around energy and how it was expended by young people and especially young women in schools throughout the day and after school. Once the project had been planned and other partners had been brought in, Sheffield Hallam University and Creative Partnerships, it all started in our school with a visit from Sheffield Hallam University. They came down with a set of accelerometers for 15 of our students who are all in Year 8.
Should start fairly soon.
Yeah, so that's it.
Yeah. Just one more thing before we go. To match up what the data's like now to what you're actually doing, you just needed to keep a sort of brief diary. Pop down for each day the activity that you're doing at a certain time outside of school hours, and then across as to whether that's very light, very hard.
And they were fitted with accelerometers, which they were to wear for a whole week during the school week, and they had to keep a really detailed diary of what they were doing during each lesson, and also what they did when they got home at 3 o'clock, what activities they were doing in the time.
So if you put them on each day on the same side, you need to make sure that you wear the same number of accelerometer every day.
As an artist, I'm very interested in invisible currencies, whether that's sort of human energy or the creative process. And at the time I was working with Creative Partnerships London South with Alison and her team and Rohanna. And it seemed a very natural match to be able to bring my sort of artistic curiosity, if you like, about human energy and that of the creative energy that's in abundance amongst teachers and students.
Well, the evidence shows that girls are not as physically active as boys and they're being put off by PE. Now, Women's Sports Foundation are trying to raise physical activity levels amongst girls and women, and so we were very excited by the creative way that this project was going about looking at raising activity levels.
At the end of July, the researchers then came back into the school to meet with the students who wore the accelerometers, and the findings of that research were presented to them. Each student was given a pack of graphs that showed their energy expenditures throughout the day. And it was also nice to see the comparisons between the students' energy levels and the teachers' energy levels at the same points in the day.
And we're going to find out about your day. You're going to tell us about your timetable, how you feel during the day, whether you feel like puddings, or you feel up high, and different times of the day. We're going to have lots of different activities.
The sun shines on everyone who watches the program.
Oh my!
I think I learned that my energy levels are high because my brain is working a lot better.
Talk about when it's easiest to concentrate. What are your energy levels like that make it easier for you to remember things, to retain information?
The students were asked to think about why their energy levels were highest at certain points. They were asked to put subjects into an order of energy level, and it was interesting to see that both the students and the teachers thought similar things about break time, lunchtime and PE being high up there on the energy scale.
Just before lunch break, the second break if they haven't eaten first break, because quite often the girls won't have had breakfast, so that'll be their first meal of the day, so they'll be waiting for that desperately, wanting to collapse on the desk and have a nap, waiting for its arrival. And quite often I find them to be quite high energy levels after second break, almost hyper if they've eaten and then run around, and their energy levels are quite high.
What do you eat for breakfast? Nothing. So you're high on adrenaline? Right. How about people over there? How do you feel at this time of day?
Okay, so the blue line is pupils and the green line is teachers. So, pupils, activities, highest. Break time. Yeah, you didn't skipping. Yeah, when I was down here I saw a lot of people skipping in the playground, which is great. I didn't know whether that was just because I was here and put these on you, but apparently you do that all the time, don't you?
The students also completed a variety of different workshops which encouraged them to look at the ways that they can best concentrate.
The project is unique in terms of the fact it has a physical audit which measures very scientifically how much energy they expend throughout the day, but it also has a holistic side, and the holistic side looks into student and teacher voice and how they feel, how they actually experience the school week and what they would like to change.
Michelle, I like the way the staff and the pupils work alongside each other, but how did you introduce the whole project?
The project started with a visit from some of the workers at Creative Partnerships London South, and they came in to meet with the target group, they were then Year 8, one tutor group, and they just introduced the concept really and asked the students to think about what they felt about their energy levels.
And did you invite the staff to participate as well?
We did. We spoke to a variety of members of staff and we took a selection. There were only enough accelerometers for 5 staff members to take part. So we decided to split it between some leadership team members and some subject staff so that we could see if there was any differences between the workload, the paperwork and the activity between the different levels of staff in the school.
Okay, so what we've seen is a snapshot of a much, much bigger project. So I'm interested in what changes you might have made based on the results so far.
We've introduced a variety of different things to test the way that they use their energy. For example, we've kept the length of the school day the same, but we've started a bit earlier on one day at 7 a.m. and they've been able to leave school at 2 p.m. in the afternoon. And then the flip side of that, we've started at 9 o'clock in the morning and finished at 4 o'clock.
Darren, does that project or the taste of it hold any surprises for you? I mean, for example, what about the idea of starting school much earlier and finishing later and varying it?
I really like the idea of being able to change the school timetable, because with different learners, some children will and teachers function better in the morning, some function better in the afternoon. So to be able to adapt and have some flexibility, I think is a big plus. I also really like the way that the project looked at both teachers and students, not just one or the other, and sort of how they interact. Because I think too often we just concentrate on one group, whereas in the school day, so we all know that it is all about the interaction between teachers and pupils.
Pupils and green lines are teachers. So, pupils, activities, highest. Break time. Yeah, you didn't skipping. Yeah, when I was down here I saw a lot of people skipping in the playground, which is great. I didn't know whether that was just because I was here and put these on you, but apparently you do that all the time, don't you?
Michelle, the energy levels were higher after break time. Why is that?
Well, the students over the past year have come to us and they're asking for more and more ways in which they can use their energy at break time. They know that is their time to play and to do things that they will enjoy. So the school has bought them skipping ropes, hula hoops, and we offer cheerleading classes and baton twirling classes so that they can actually do something structured at break time that uses the energy that they understand themselves is often surplus. They can't do anything with it.
And what about concentration? Does their concentration go up when their energy levels go up too?
The responses from the teachers involved in the project that lessons 3 and 4, which come directly after break time, are the lessons that are most productive. So it seems on first view that after using their energy at break time that they can then come into the classroom and concentrate well on what they're doing.
It's not just the students that have been involved in looking at energy. I mean, how have the teachers in your own school they adapted this for their lessons?
Well, the leadership team have been keen for all staff members to embrace the project, and they've tried to encourage them to use different activities in their lessons, subjects that are predominantly sitting in the classroom. They've asked them to include ideas such as Mexican waves, for example. If they are sitting at the desks doing their work, stop the lesson, Mexican wave around the classroom a couple of times, back to the work.
And what about the changes to the school day? I mean, would that be a permanent thing, or is that just a special week now and again?
I think at this stage it's very hard to tell. This week is just the pilot week, the phase 2 pilot, and the students have had very much an input in what's happening in that week. So we've given them the breakfast club before school so that we can see that they are all eating something at breakfast time during the day. And then they've all had an activity after breakfast before lesson 1, whether it be Tai Chi, Pilates, cheerleading, and they had a session of cricket as well, just to get them physically active after they've had that breakfast, nothing too strenuous obviously, and then they're off to lesson 1. And in between the lessons we've tried to include different activities as well, such as gospel singing, again Tai Chi, things that will bring them together as a group, focus them before they move on to their next class.
Darren, how realistic do you think applying this way of working would be in schools?
I think it's very realistic. At the moment, with a Year 4 class that I'm teaching, we do every morning and after breaks, I do with the class a series of exercises that are similar to brain gym, to yoga, to Tai Chi, just with the aim of relaxing this class.
And Michelle, how do you think this affects teachers' own professional development?
For myself personally, it's been invaluable because even just from the standpoint of I now understand these girls were my tutor group. I understand where they're coming from when they come to me, what they do in those lessons that before I assume that they're sitting at a desk and working, but it's nice to know now what all the teachers are implementing and the kinds of things that they're doing in their lessons.
So how have you seen the link between creativity and energy?
Well, it's shown us and the students that they are in control of what they do, and they are creative in their own way. Some of them are really physically active and they want to do the running and the cricket and the sports, but some of them have found they work more creatively when they're actually doing smaller mental tasks. So it was encouraging them to decide which one they preferred for themselves, so they're becoming independent learners.
There's so much to say on this subject, but I'm afraid this has to be the end, and I'm sure it will provoke much more discussion. You can, of course, find out more from our website at teachers.tv. It only remains for me to say thank you to our teacher producer, Michelle Grant, and our guest, Darren Powell, and of course, Adrian Jones. Please join us again on Action Teacher Video, and in the meantime, from me, Xanthi Steen, goodbye.